hear?
Well, no, it's just brains and maggots.
Brains. That's my favorite Christmas song. Brains and maggots, brains and maggots, and chestnuts roasting on an open.
All right, I'm standing here in front of the federal courthouse in Washington, D.C., and inside is the first jury trial that was brought forth by special counsel.
Hey dudes, I'm an expert on all things Southern. I've been there at least 3 times. I recently spent over... That's true. How old are you?
I'm 50.
Have you noticed you're turning into a crybaby?
No, I'm not a crybaby.
Really? Alright.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hang up on you, but I want you to watch this and tell me if it makes you because...
Oh, okay. I'm gonna cancel my subscription to your stupid Dr. Doc.
That didn't go as planned. I was being hyperbolic, sir. I was saying that now that I'm over 50, I don't know if it's because I'm not the warrior I once was, but I have so much empathy and sympathy that I see things. It's certain things though. Like you could punch me in the face and say, you could threaten to kill me. I'm not scared. But if I see like military things, baseball things, and here's an example. 49-year-old me wouldn't even watch this. 52-year-old me, I had to drink Gatorade because I was so dehydrated. This is 6'1". Sorry. No, 6'1", sorry. That's an exciting parkour thing we should study. Sure. God, I can't believe I lost $100 a year just by joking around with the dude. It's like when I criticize dogs, my bank account just goes shh. This kid is giving his pop, his granddad, his home run ball. Now, the title says it's his first home run, but it sounds to me like...
Hello everyone, I want to read a piece that I recently wrote, and I write these so that I can think them through very carefully, by the way, instead of just reading them or spontaneously uttering them. Sometimes that works, but sometimes you have to think things through in more detail. This is about identity. I entitled it, Identity Fixation, Degenerate Protestants, and 2-year-olds. The great psychologist Carl Jung believed that while the fundamental threat posed to the integrity of the Catholic Church was associated with the temptations of centralized power, so the pull of authoritarianism, the threat to Protestantism was unconstrained factionalism. Jung believed that the logical conclusion of the Protestant Revolution was atomization, serious and wide-reaching enough so that all those in the Protestant world would end up members of their own personal church. The wars that currently rage in our culture around issues of identity can be profitably considered in that light. The radical activists who purport to be on the left, and therefore standing for the oppressed and marginalized, have attributed to each individual the omniscient, omnipresent, and omnipotent power once reserved only for God. This attribution is most evident in claims insisting upon the unquestionable and purely subjective nature of identity. Each individual is deemed uniquely capable of defining who they are, not only for themselves, but for other people, a capability increasingly enshrined in punitive law. Furthermore, the epistemological grounds for that claim are equally, if not more, subjective. A person's identity is to be determined by what he, she, or they, or some other pronoun variant feels. A philosophically preposterous claim, to say the least, given the importance of the issue at hand, which is, after all, the essential nature of a person. That vague and absolutely arbitrary feeling is deemed to exist utterly apart from any biological, physical, or even social grounding, leaving the observer to wonder if it is not at least implicitly regarded as the manifestation of some disembodied soul, and furthermore can shift and change with time, place, and whim in a manner also not to be questioned. This is all part of the philosophy of the authentic self, also a doctrine of something approximating the soul, where the genuine identity of the person is held to be found within a very ill-defined locale. What is that? Neurological, spiritual, heavenly? And all social regulation of that identity is held to be unacceptably arbitrary, punitive, and compulsion-based, and all biological determination of that parodied as prejudiced essentialism. In a world where the authentic self is the ultimate authority, only the atomized individual rules. This insistence is reflected not only in the absurd doctrines of the subjectively defined self, but also in the reconfiguration of violence, harm, and offense. Harm is held to be something only the putative target of that harm can define. If I feel that your words have hurt me, another feeling, then you are deemed guilty, regardless of intent, precedent, or the opinions of others, who may very well not agree that a reasonable person would have been hurt by the action or statement in question. Worse, all of this appears to be a consequence of something approximating what Freud defined as fixation. That is, failure to develop beyond a given developmental stage or degree of maturity. Freud observed that when people hit an insuperable obstacle in the development of their personality, they tended to retain the patterns of behavior that characterized their age at the time of impediment. I learned to see this in my clinical practice, and then also in my private life. Now and then, when I was discussing something serious with one of the people I work with, their entire mien would shift. I remember in particular one woman, about 50, discussing an event that occurred when she was about 5. I recently joined forces with Daily Wire. The plan is to build a multimedia empire offering services on the philosophical, educational, journalistic, and entertainment front, and an empire that will not fall prey to the woke authoritarianism that has become increasingly mandatory in so many places, including, let's say, the once great Disney. Daily Wire Plus has 890,000 subscribers. Netflix has 200 million. DW Plus is not woke. Is Netflix? Decide that for yourself, but give some consideration to supporting this new joint venture and help us continue educating and informing and battling